God promised Abraham that he would have an innumerable amount of descendants, more than the stars in the sky. For exactly 430 years, Abraham's descendants, the Israelites, had been slaves in the land of Egypt. Pharaoh was the ruler of Egypt. God sent Moses to Pharaoh to tell him to let God's people go. Pharaoh refused to listen to God. God then visited Egypt with terrible plagues. God was demonstrating his incredible power. God had authority over all of the Egyptians' false gods. Repeatedly, God proved his power and might. Now remember, some of the Egyptians believed God. They were listening to him, but Pharaoh would not. The final plague that God sent was by far the worst. God sent the death angel to slay every family's firstborn child and every animal's firstborn. According to the Bible, there was a lot of crying in Egypt because there wasn't a single household that didn't have someone who died. Pharaoh summoned Moses during the night and told him to leave Egypt. This is exactly what God predicted would occur. Moses and the rest of the Israelites hurried away. Their bread did not even rise, which is why the Jews still celebrate the Feast of Unleavened Bread today. In the middle of the night, Moses led 600,000 people out of Egypt. God led his people with a cloud pillar during the day and a fire pillar at night. Following these incredible sights would serve as a reminder that God was always with them, guiding them every step of the way to the Promised Land. In Numbers 20, Moses and the congregation came to the wilderness of Zin. Numbers 20. And the people of Israel, the whole congregation, came into the wilderness of Zin in the first month, and the people stayed in Kadesh. And Miriam died there and was buried there. Now there was no water for the congregation, and they assembled themselves together against Moses and against Aaron. And the people quarreled with Moses and said, "Would that we had perished when our brothers perished before the Lord. Why have you brought the assembly of the Lord into this wilderness, that we should die here, both we and our cattle? And why have you made us come up out of Egypt to bring us to this evil place? It is no place for grain or figs or vines or pomegranates, and there is no water to drink." Then Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly to the entrance of the tent of meeting and fell on their faces. And the glory of the Lord appeared to them, and the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Take the staff and assemble the congregation, you and Aaron your brother, and tell the rock before their eyes to yield its water. So you shall bring water out of the rock for them, and give drink to the congregation and their cattle."